Alright everyone, what's going on? This is United Universe FC. Nicky Butt, before leaving his post as United's head of development, was a huge advocate of Majebri, who was being compared to Paul Pogba for his flair. Majebri is different to Paul when Paul was a youth team player but told the Manchester Evening News. He's not as powerful as Paul, he isn't as dominant as him. He's a different kind of player to Paul, but we all know about the talent he's got. It's been written out there in the press many times with the signing and the fee, but he's a young man who's come to a new country who needs a bit of time. He's a very, very talented boy, but he's still very immature. He's still a baby. He's still 17. He's not got anything on him just yet. He needs to build up his size and build up his physicality. Talent wise, he's got such an immense talent to go on and play at a high level, but there's a long way to go yet. The 18-year-old has a reputation for dazzling skills and twinkling toes, somewhat reminiscent of a certain player back in his teenage days. Cristiano Ronaldo took part in his first training session, but it was Majebri who stole the show when he embarrassed Fred. Fans have been desperate to see some action from the 36-year-old, but it was Majebri who looked in terrific form as his skills shone through. The teenager, a product of the famous Clairefontaine Academy, has been tipped for stardom, improving week by week, training alongside first-team superstars. Majebri leaves no prisoners, and Fred has learnt that the hard way. In one clip, Majebri receives the ball before some dancing feet left his Brazilian teammate dizzy before the ball was knocked back to Donny van der Beek. The Dutchman sought out the youngster, who lost Fred before leaving him on the floor as he finished the move with a goal. A United coach who said that such an incident is a regular occurrence at the club's Carrington training complex. He actually takes the piss, sometimes against players a couple of years older than him, a club source told The Athletic. He'll feint to strike, then drag it and shoot the other way. Majebri's situation is interesting. He's the same age as Jude Bellingham and Camavinga, yet he has featured just once for United so far. Camavinga's preference was always believed to be La Liga, and so it proved. Solskjaer should be bolder with Majebri. Both those players were tipped to join United before moving elsewhere, and Bellingham in particular feels like the one that got away. It has been suggested in some quarters that United opted for Majebri rather than a 16-year-old Camavinga. If you are good enough, you are old enough. Certainly applies to Camavinga and Bellingham. Chances were taken on their talent, and they repaid with interest. We may be disappointed to have missed out on the pair, but we have our own star in the making. United spent big on the French-born midfielder back in 2019. Paying 9 million for a 16-year-old shows how highly the Red Devils rate him, and he has blossomed since, excelling at under 18 level and now quickly outgrowing the under 23s. Majebri has an interesting campaign ahead of him. Majebri made his debut for the first team last season after coming on for Juan Mata in the final match of the season against Wolves. 8 minutes on the final day of last season was a tantalising glimpse of United's latest midfield sensation. Now he deserves much more. Given United's struggles in the centre of the park, the recent Tunisia international will see a path in. Nemanja Matic is fading fast, Fred continues to struggle, and James Gardner's latest loan spell is faltering. The 18-year-old will be desperate for a chance. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has limited his uses of the Frenchman so far, but after witnessing the way in which he humiliated Fred, Ole has a big decision to make next week. United could make changes for the Carabao Cup clash on Wednesday. It is an ideal chance for the youngster to impress, and it will be interesting to see if Majebri features. Whether the Tunisia international has more success this campaign remains to be seen. Does Ollie play him in an under-23 competition where he will learn nothing, or does he take a risk that could pay rich dividends? Majebri can fly with faith. Now Ollie needs to be bold and potentially save a huge sum in the process. As a result, Majebri could be a regular in 2022 and beyond.